Hi, I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist, and this is my last meal.
Every person has exactly two things in common. We all gotta eat and we're all gonna die. Today's guest is the director of the Hayden Planetarium, the host of Star Talk Radio, and the author of more than a dozen books, the latest of which, Just Visiting This Planet, is out now. He's your own personal astrophysicist, and perhaps most impressively, he finished second place in his 8th grade science fair. Neil deGrasse Tyson, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Neil, you're 13 or 14 years old, and you build a spectroscope from scratch to prove that moonlight and sunlight are identical, and you come in second. Who's the person that came in first, and what are they doing now?
It's some guy who, grew beans. And it had words that were very biological. Mm-hmm. I remember the word cotyledon. None of my words were obscure, because in astrophysics, we call things as we see them.
The Big Bang.
Thank you. Okay, the beginning of time, space, Big Bang.
It's so understated.
You fall into this region of space. You don't come out. Light can't come out. Black hole. Okay.
That's so
There's spots on the sun. You know what we call them?
I don't have a guess.
Sunspots.
Oh my God! Stop using Latin on me, Neil.
You've heard of sunspots. Jupiter has a red spot. We call it Jupiter's red spot. So, a spectroscope, that was maybe the only complicated word, but we had light, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. I built it from scratch, had a prism. We've heard the word, you know the word prism. Mm. So I don't think it had complicated enough words in it to attract the judges. But regardless, I didn't mind coming in second, but I have no idea what this other kid is doing today.
Comment below if you're that winner.
I'm glad that such a show as this exists in the world. Not enough people spend time contemplating their own death. I'm 2/3 of the way through my life, if you check actuarial tables.
Surely the actuarial tables give you an idea of how long you can live, but also there's what I call the bus theorem, which is that you can get hit by a bus at any time.
I'm not getting hit by a bus. Buses don't sneak up on you.
That's a fair point. Maybe a giant predatory bird or something, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. A California condor, perhaps. Just pick you up and whisk you away.
Yeah, they got big wingspans, those condors, yeah.
They really do. Watch out for those, if not buses. Have you thought about your last meal before?
Yes, I have.
Interesting. In what context?
I asked myself, would I order the most expensive things that I can possibly imagine? Mm-hmm. But that would imply I wouldn't otherwise have that food in my life. Yeah. So my whole attitude towards a last meal changed upon realizing this. Because I care a lot about food, so does my wife. My kids love this fact.
They're the beneficiaries.
Because they've eaten at other people's homes,
yep.
And they come into our house back for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Why save your greatest meal for your last? Why not make at least one great meal a week, if not every day? And in doing so, when it's time for your last meal, you're chill. You say, I did that, I'm good.
Yeah.
Let me have another reason for this choice of foods, other than it being the food you've always longed to have.
That's beautiful. Make the most of your actual time on Earth before
Correct.
It's too late. Are you ready to eat?
Let's eat.
Let's do it. Neil, for your first course, we have the buttered corn on the cob with some extra butter on the side. We have a homemade corn chowder with plenty of potatoes and mirepoix, black pepper, and chive, and then a fully dressed Caesar salad with some fresh anchovies on top, homemade croutons, and Caesar dressing. Also, we do have one more surprise. You are a noted enophile, and so we got you this bottle. This is called Luce.
Luce. I know Luce.
You know Luce?
Yes.
Can I pour you a glass of Luce?
Bottle, please. Is this etched, or is this a label that they glued on? Because the early bottles, it was etched. That's good enough there.
Of course.
Let me just see that. Yeah, this is a glued on label. The early ones, it's actually carved into the bottle.
Oh no, we shouldn't have bought this from the street vendor.
The guy on the street corner with a jacket that opens it up.
He was selling Gucci bags and Rolexes too. But cheers.
Luce.
Luce.
Latin for?
Light.
Yes, it is.
Cheers.
Hey, super Tuscan.
Where are we starting on this?
Oh, wow. Okay. Can I just do this? Is this allowed?
Oh, yes, you may. This is your last meal.
Wow, that's good. Okay.
Can I ask, is there a reason that you drink soup like that? Because I think there's a scientific case to be made.
I'm more civilized than I would normally use a spoon, but I was just testing it to see how I would then go at it.
I think the slurping of the soup, actually the juxtaposition
with air?
of the air,
Yeah.
makes it taste better.
I'm a foodie too. You can't like
I know you are.
out foodie me here. I have fellow wine people who sip the wine and then they do that same thing with the wine.
The trilling.
Yeah, they're going. I find that completely annoying.
My favorite stuff is when they go,
Just swallow the damn thing. Taste it and swallow it. Okay. So some are darker yellow than others. Anything I should know about that?
not that I know of.
Try
I
this
believe
one.
this is the varietal's called Brentwood corn.
Brentwood. By the way, at my house, they never taught us to chew with our mouth closed.
I love that.
So we go to other people's places and everyone, and we're up there. It tastes way better with your mouth open, for sure.
Because of
Air.
air. This is what I'm talking. The OG foodie.
Yeah.
Wrestling from a young age influenced the rest of your career? Because I know with my athletic career, like I took a tremendous amount of value from it.
What did you do athletically?
So I did shot put, discus, and hammer throw.
Are these are full 16-pound shot puts?
Yeah, 16 pounds. But I have these tiny hands, so I wasn't that good at it, but managed to do it at UCLA. The biggest lesson I learned.
Let me see your hand.
Oh my God, Neil, you ever throw discus?
No, I wrestled. Yeah, so how did you hold the shot put?
As best I could. Not that well.
It didn't just fall out of your hand?
I was what we called a bronze medal athlete. I was fighting for third in every meet, and I was fine with that. First and second way out
No,
there.
that's an important, humble place to be.
I agree
Because you're
entirely.
still succeeding, but you don't have coming in first as a distraction.
No.
For you.
Not at
Yeah,
all. It was
very
me
good.
against me.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Dad. I mean, Neil. But I learned very quickly how to be uncomfortable and how to be okay with that, which was something that was very valuable to me in the rest of my life. That you're going to be uncomfortable and know that it's for the greater good and the
Yes.
benefit of you. What did you learn from wrestling?
So, wrestling, it is the hardest thing I've ever done with my body. And I wondered, would others think this? So I started asking. I go to random people who were sports people. I say, what is the hardest sport you've ever done? If they have wrestled, the answer is wrestling.
Yeah.
100% of the cases. Let me tell you how serious it was. At the end of one match, I was so exhausted. I could not hold my pee. And I'm flat on the mat, and like the pee is coming out. I have no muscle left. And you realize you need muscle to hold pee in, okay?
An incredible scientific discovery.
In fact, when you die, all your sphincters open up and pee and poop just slides out of you. And what's that movie, 21 grams? Where you die and they say you're 21 grams less, and that's your soul that goes up to wherever.
I missed that one.
You missed that movie? Yeah, that's the premise of it. You got to get out more.
I know, I swear
you got a
I
kitchen
do.
here. Get out, okay? All right. So, do you know how much 21 grams is?
0.75 ounces.
Yeah, that's about right. Two-thirds of an ounce of pee is in you, multiples more than that is in you at any given time. You die, it just spills out of you. And you're gonna tell me you're gonna measure 21 grams and then ascribe that to your soul going to heaven?
Yeah.
Or wherever? So, now why am I talking about this? I don't remember.
Well, you're talking about pissing yourself after
Oh, thank
wrestling
you.
because you're so
what
exhausted. Yeah, which is incredible.
I had no muscle things left at all.
Neil, you have a new book out. It's called Just Visiting This Planet.
Just within this month.
And you're writing from the perspective of Merlin, which was also your long-standing column. And you have people writing in questions that you're answering. One of my favorites from the book is when someone asked,
You actually read people's books?
I read everybody's books, yeah.
I
take this show
I'm
very
proud of
seriously.
you.
Thanks, man.
The second time this meal.
I hope we can get at least one more. It's rule of threes.
I feel very paternal now, being proud of you.
I'm looking for a father figure.
Okay.
And you're so far in the lead right now. But there was one question that asked if aliens could theoretically see our television broadcasts, and you said that.
No, this is Merlin said this.
Oh, Merlin. I'm so sorry, Merlin.
Merlin's
Oh,
a
yeah,
character.
I know.
Yeah,
Merlin's a
I'm just
character.
channeling Merlin.
Merlin said that it is theoretically possible that there is an alien civilization that has viewed all of our society through the lens of one TV show. If there was one TV show that our society could be judged on, what do you think it should be?
Well, we won't have that option because they'll just get whatever TV shows are washing over their location in the galaxy. And the earliest ones would be Howdy Doody, Amos and Andy. You'll be embarrassed that if you see Amos.
You worry for us if the aliens see Amos and Andy.
Yeah, and there's the honeymooners. You surely have seen honeymooners. And in there, they might learn how men and women treat each other. And occasionally he says, "To the moon, Alice!" gesturing that he will hit her hard enough to send her to the moon. So the aliens will wonder, how far away is the moon? Is this a real threat? Is this how the men and women treat each other on that planet? They will see all of these broadcasts. Oh, you know what else they're going to get? They're going to get Hitler's rallies, because that was on very high-powered radio broadcast in the 1930s.
Oh, no.
So you got 1930s and 40s and early 50s. That wave, that is what they're going to see. And I'm pretty sure they will conclude there's no sign of intelligent life on Earth.
Yeah, that was a rough time for humanity. But most times were also rough times for humanity.
Well, there are others. Here's some saving grace.
Okay.
The show Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead primarily was distributed by cable.
Mm-hmm. So that's not.
So it's not in the airwaves going out to space.
The aliens will never see Succession.
That's correct.
That sucked. What a great show, man. I'm curious how you've seen your role as a science communicator over time change. Like, do you think it's more important now than, say, 20 years ago? Is there something that's more pressing in society?
Oh, yeah. Your challenges are the same.
Yeah.
Getting to people to be scientifically literate on a level where they can make informed decisions about issues and policies and laws and legislation and who they vote for.
Yeah.
If you make decisions that are scientifically misinformed or underinformed, then it's not a functioning democracy.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the seeds of the unraveling of a democracy. If everyone is voting for what they think is true, what they want to be true, what their religion, their politics, or their culture tells them to be true, rather than what is objectively true, established by the methods and tools of science, if that's what you're doing, just pick up all your things and move back to the cave, because that's where we're headed.
What do you think would happen if the scientists were in control of society, or say of a single sovereign nation, as opposed to politicians?
I don't really want that. I like politicians, good politicians, and make decisions that factor what is objectively true with people's emotions. For example, are you old enough, maybe not, to remember when we dropped the national speed limit to 55 miles an hour? This was in the 1970s to save gas. If that's your goal, and scientists were making rules, because we're very goal-driven, you want to save gas? Drop it to 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, that will save even more gas.
Sure.
Okay? And there's a speed below which you'll start moving more gas because you're using lower gears that use more fuel. So you want to go the lowest speed that's in your highest gear. So I don't know what that is. It's different for each car. I think it's slower than 55 miles an hour. That's how the scientists would have figured this out. And they just picked this number out of their ass and just put it out there. And so that's fine, but maybe no one wants to drive 30 miles an hour. You will absorb the risk of accidents because the death rate went down when that happened. And the risk taking is not something that lends itself well to blunt scientific analysis.
You must see these things as like inherently illogical. You wrote in Starry Messenger about...
Thank you, a book from 2 years ago.
A book from 2 years ago. Starry Messenger, Causing Perspective on Civilization. I found it really, really meaningful. And there was a really interesting part about cougars and deer and children being eaten that I found just...
Do you remember that?
I remember that. I mean, if you want to explain it, I thought it was fascinating.
So the question is, if you live in some suburbs in the Northeast, there's a deer problem. The deer population is costly to the county because there are car accidents, because they jump out in front of you at night. There are, so that'll injure the car, it'll injure you, people die. So you look at how many people die, look at the total cost of all this, say, is there a solution? We can hire a bunch of hunters and shoot them down, but that's so harsh. So someone proposed this, seriously proposed this, why not reintroduce the population of predator cats that was once in this region of the country? Cougars, essentially.
Yeah.
They will cull the herd so that there aren't so many deer. However, they will eat a few babies out of your yard.
The classic yard baby. Yeah, sitting out there, cougar jumps in, eats the yard baby.
And eats the yard baby. You might lose, there's some numbers, they sketched what those numbers might be. It was fewer deaths than the car deaths. The problem is if the state puts in cougars and the cougar eats your baby, the state killed your baby.
Yeah.
Whereas, if a deer comes out and you die, then that's nature. So somehow we're okay if nature kills you, and we're not okay if there's an audit trail back to a governmental decision. Yeah. So that's the kind of things decisions politicians would have to make. What you want is a politician who's not necessarily a scientist, but one who knows how to listen to scientists. And doesn't just make their own stuff up and put it on the internet. No, listen to scientists. So we'll come out every now and then, knock on our door, we'll come out of the lab, we'll tell you what the latest result is, then we're gonna go back in the lab. And you run the frickin' country, okay? So the scientists are less good at making a moral decision, but they can provide the data for you to make an informed decision related to the moral decision.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm all for.
Tell me about the Caesar salad.
By the way, when I was in college, there's a pizza place, you can order a pizza EBA.
I'm not familiar with this acronym.
Everything but anchovies.
If you don't want your anchovies, I'll take it.
I'm going to give you these anchovies.
I would love it.
But at this moment, you don't know why, but I will give them to you nonetheless.
Was it going to change me wanting the anchovies or not?
No. It is a properly dressed Caesar salad with anchovies. The anchovies are grabbing the cheese. Some of that cheese back.
Oh, but yeah, it's a cheese tax.
Okay. So I happen to like Caesar salad. It's always satisfying to me. I once read that Parmesan was the king of cheeses back when people still gendered food. They don't do that anymore. Have you noticed they don't gender the food anymore? It's no longer king size.
Really?
It's sharing size.
Oh, interesting.
Haven't you noticed? Get out! Would you
I feel like I don't
leave your home?
Notice these things.
Does someone else do your shopping?
No, I do all of my shopping.
Go buy a big bag of potato chips. It'll say sharing size, not king size.
Well, it used to be party size on the chips, but king size was candy bars. But now it says sharing size, but that was so that they could then have plausible deniability to say it was multiple servings in there. So that was purely a PR move. I don't think it had anything to do with anti.
I think it had everything to do with being woke.
You think it was?
Yeah.
Neil, you think woke took king size 100 grand bars from us?
Wait. So you're mixing the two. The candy bars, I get it.
Okay.
Sharing says, then they say it's half the calories. But they did that anyway. With large bars, they say, oh, this is 6 servings. You lying mofos. This is, right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right. So I'm saying that happened around when it was the woke thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's not going to reverse. It's going to stay that way.
Do you think that's ultimately a good thing, a bad thing, or do you not meddle in those affairs? Merlin has no gender. Yeah.
There's no reference to Merlin's gender anywhere in this book, or it's the first of its book, which came out last year. So I've been thinking about sort of gender-free communication and a world since the 1980s.
Ready to move on to course number 2?
Isn't this the second? Oh, this whole thing is a course.
This is one course.
No, sure. Let's do it.
Neil, for the main course of your final meal, we have the moosewood lasagna. This is a very specific recipe that I'll talk a little bit more about later. I'm sure you have a story about it. We have some garlic bread. We have green beans with sliced almonds. And then we have your absolute favorite vintage Willamette Valley Pinot that you definitely asked for. Can I pour you up a glass?
Please. Yes. We see the lighter color. The second word of Pinot Noir means black. And yet this wine is much, much lighter than all of the Cabernet-based wines.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious about this moosewood lasagna here, because this is a very famous restaurant and cookbook.
Yes, from Ithaca, New York.
Ithaca, New York.
Yeah.
Did you go to the original moosewood restaurant?
Never. I never did.
How did this cross your mind?
Because my wife made many recipes from it, and I will be comparing this to her version of it.
I'm so curious, please. dig in. I don't want to stop you.
This has, there should be spinach in here, other greens. There's no meat.
There's no meat, no.
Yes, correct.
No, Moosewood is an entirely vegetarian restaurant.
That's
really,
right, that's correct. By the way, are you going to put your napkin on your lap? You tell me you're a food person and you're now I'm going to be your mother. Put on your napkin.
Man, this is the downside of finding a new father figure. It suddenly becomes a stern disciplinarian right away. Didn't even play catch yet. I think you can directly trace the existence of this lasagna to the photo Earthrise from the 1968 Apollo 8 mission. Because you write very beautifully in Starry Messenger, I'm bringing that back up, about the modern environmentalism movement and how a lot of that can be sort of traced to 1968's Apollo 8 mission and people finally seeing this zoomed out view of Earth. And so Moosewood, the restaurant, started in 1973. The cookbook was written in 1974, and the cookbook became so popular. Your wife found that cookbook because of all the countercultural movements.
And the cookbook was of the restaurant's best dishes.
Yeah.
And we went to the moon from 1968 to 1972, and we were changed.
Yeah, and it takes a year to write a cookbook.
As a culture, we were changed. Now, I wouldn't have necessarily connected these two because the environmental movement was not specifically let's all be vegetarian.
Sure.
But if the mood feels right and and the firmware upgrade that descended upon us, laying witness to Earth, seen as only nature intends, with oceans and land and clouds. Not the color-coded countries that were on the schoolroom globe, which in my later years I'm thinking they color-coded them to train you, to brainwash you into recognizing who your friends were and who your enemies were.
Yeah.
Political brainwashing, and I'm thinking Earth is not that. These are mind-shifting things. People say, why are we going into space? It costs $100 billion. I say, how much is the universe worth to you? How much is it worth to you for those images to have changed the world in our understanding of our relationship to each other, to all other people on Earth, and to Earth itself?
Seems cheap at that point.
Yes.
Right, affordable. If everybody got the ability to go into space and see the Earth themselves from a first-person perspective.
It's not everybody. Just send all the politicians.
I mean, do you think the world would
Send the leader of every country into space, and we don't bring him back until they all agree on something. Okay?
Sending the kids to the room until they figure it out. I mean, you actually think that would change the world very, very deeply.
When you go out to the moon, that is a deep and true cosmic perspective. May I quote astronaut Edgar Mitchell? Apollo 14, died a few years ago, deeply moved by his lunar experience. Interviewed in Time magazine, 1971, he said, "You develop an instant global consciousness, a people orientation, an intense dissatisfaction with the state of the world, and a compulsion to do something about it. From out there on the moon, international politics looks so petty, you want to grab a politician by the scruff of the neck and drag him 250,000 miles out and say, look at that, you son of a bitch."
Damn. Better not yet, you know.
He was feeling it.
Sure was. You were feeling it right there, too. I was feeling it. We're all feeling it.
Yeah.
There's another quote from a spacewalker, I believe Mike Massimino. He said, at first I looked down to the Earth and I said, this must be the view from heaven. And then I thought, no, this is the view of heaven. There's a beautiful blend between metaphor and science and like feeling and hard facts. How do you square, you know, whether you believe in the idea of a miracle, we still all have words for them to describe what I would say are scientific phenomenon. How do you square those two things, or do you have to? Can you simply live in that world where, yes, this is heaven and that's a beautiful metaphor, whereas for some, that's very literal?
You bring up God. Have you ever looked up God on the wiki page?
Nope.
There's a scroll. It goes on almost forever. How many gods throughout civilization humans have worshipped?
Yeah.
So when you say, is there room for God? I might ask, which God are you thinking about? Do you have one in mind?
The Cartesian blind clockmaker God simply invented the universe, stepped back, let us do whatever laws of physics still apply.
That's more like Spinoza's God. Spinoza, a Jewish theologian. He imagined God just created everything, set it into motion, but that would include the laws of physics and everything. Okay.
Gotcha.
The blind watchmaker, that's a different level. That's William Paley wrote a book called Natural Theology to contrast with natural philosophy, which is physics, basically.
Yeah.
Natural theology was an attempt to read nature and find God in the reading of nature, which nobody is doing when they're reading biblical Genesis. In there, he references a watch. You're in the woods, you come upon a watch. Did that just assemble from random forces? Or did someone make it and put it there? And you know when your intuition tells you, you're not going to make gears by accident and have them accidentally be blown together in a hurricane and have a ticking watch. Clearly there was intelligence behind that. He then claimed that nature was writ with examples such as that, betraying or revealing and intelligence. What's not fully explained there is he's referencing things we didn't yet understand about the natural world.
Is the term God of the gaps?
That's exactly it.
There's a gap in it.
If you don't understand it yet, I don't. This is kind of complex. This is an amazing, complex thing. I don't understand it. I don't know how it could have gotten here.
Divined by the gods.
So the gods must have, God or gods must have done it. That's philosophers call it the God of the gaps, and it's a time-honored tradition. No one invoked God to explain a rock, but the orbits of the planets. One of my favorite quotes is from Ptolemy, so Al-Majest, which is Arabic for the greatest. So in this work, he doesn't understand. It codifies the geocentric universe, Earth in the middle. Well, how do you do that? Well, planets go forward in the sky, slow down, and then they go backwards, and then they slow down and they go forwards again. And they repeat, what are you doing? No one understood this, so they invented epicycles. He didn't really understand it, but he was trying to explain it. So in the margin of his book, he writes the following. When I trace at my pleasure the windings to and fro of the heavenly bodies, he's referring to the planets doing that. I no longer touch earth with my feet. I stand in the presence of Zeus himself and take my fill of ambrosia.
Damn.
He was feeling it.
He was feeling it.
Loving my people who were feeling it.
it.
Then Newton explains all that. But Newton comes with a heliocentric, sun-centered system. But then there's something he can't explain. He said, well, God must step in and do that.
Yeah.
So everybody's doing it. So you want to talk about miracles. If to you, miracles are things that we don't understand, maybe God suspended the laws of physics, or maybe it will yield to further scientific inquiry.
Yeah.
The history of science is one where science has never said, yep, God did this.
Yeah, which has...
Yes, this is actually magic. Yes, this is actually, that hasn't happened yet. Sure. So I'm not going forward presuming it will.
I mean, which is historically why specifically astronomy has been considered so heretical.
Yes.
You look at, Galileo...
Look, we're looking up, gods are in the heavens, we're looking up in the heavens.
Even like the metaphor of the heliocentric universe was something that was so heretical because we were no longer the center of it.
That's correct.
And you yourself, you've tread in dangerous territory. You killed Pluto, and you got...
Pluto had it coming, get over it.
And you got, Neil, hold on, we have a lot of people this means a lot to. In this room, hordes of angry 9-year-olds sending you letters in the early 2000s.
Yeah, they were like 8-year-olds too, yeah. Yeah, in the early 2000s. I have a file cabinet drawer, a pissed off crayon scrawled, "Dear Dr. Tyson, why did you demote Pluto? Pluto is my favorite planet. Now I don't have a favorite planet. Here's what Pluto looks like. Put it back in the exhibit." People were giving commandments to change what's going on. The next generation, they're born into this fact, and they're cool with it.
All of us, Neil. All of us grew up with Pluto as a planet in this room.
You were in 4th grade when this happened. I have a letter from you.
I think a lot of people took it as, quote, I've heard an attack on smallness. I've heard from people in this room, it proved that everything I grew up with was a lie. Do you have to worry about these heavy attachments to what to you, I'm sure, are objective?
It's a fault of how science was taught.
Interesting.
You're taught there are 9 planets. That's not how it should have ever been taught.
Yeah.
So there are rocky planets, there are gaseous planets. And then there's one odd ice ball called Pluto. We don't know what that is. Well, call it a planet for now.
But surely it's as big as the other planets, right? Surely, Neil. Because I saw it on the thing that I made in 3rd grade, it was as big as the other planet.
Our moon has 5 times the mass of Pluto.
Ah, shit.
Deal with it.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Do you know half of Pluto is made of ice? You bring it to where Earth is right now, heat from the sun would evaporate that ice, and it would grow a tail. And that's no kind of behavior for planets.
Can I offer you some green beans?
No, please.
I'm really curious. Have you read a book called Seveneves? Seveneves by Neil Stephenson.
I have been emailed by people who said, have I ever read Seveneves by Neil Stephenson? Everyone says that I'm in it.
You're in it.
Either me or someone like me, so I confess, I read mostly nonfiction, almost exclusively nonfiction, and I wait for the movie to come out if it's fiction. So
I hope they make a movie.
Seveneves is not a movie, so I haven't seen it yet.
I hope you see it. You are in it. You are portrayed very well. You die a hero. Spoiler alerts.
What? Now you don't tell me that? It's my last meal. Okay.
But Neil Stephenson introduces a concept in that book that he calls omnistics. relating to Amish people, the idea that in the future humanity will have to intentionally roll back certain technologies because ultimately it would be too harmful to go forward with them. Do you think that is a valid way to look at the future?
No.
I know, right? Not at all.
It reeks the attitude that people have had forever in the presence of technology. That, oh, it's going too fast, we won't be able to catch up with it, it's gonna be the death of us all, we're all gonna die. They said, oh, the population explosion is gonna outstrip the food. No one is saying, maybe science will figure out how to make more food on less land with fewer farmers than ever before. Has anyone considered that possibility? Apparently not, but that's what's happening now. Anyone who is starving in the world, it's not because the world does not have enough food, which was the prediction made by the doomsday people about the food and population, one outstripping the other. I find it unconvincing, but maybe I have to see the movie, or sorry, read the book.
We'll wait till the movie comes out. Neil, why'd you choose all this food?
Until you put the 2 slivers of anchovies on my Caesar salad, all the food we're eating today does not require the death of any animals.
Interesting. Have you gone full vegetarian?
Not in the least. But if I'm gonna die, I don't need to take any animals with me. I've been an omnivore my whole life. The least I can do on my last meal is give them all a hall pass. So I can still enjoy the meal and not kill any animal in this, except the tiny little anchovy that you slivered.
That was brutal. That was disgusting.
That was. No,
4 anchovies died for this meal. Neil, for the final course of your final meal on Earth, whether you get hit by a bus or you get E. coli from our show, you did sign the waiver. We have the blueberry pie with whipped cream. We have a strawberry malted milkshake. And then we have the Chateau d'Yquem Sauternes. Can I pour you up some Sauternes?
Please.
You know, you are the 3rd guest on Last Meals to request Sauternes for their last meal.
But did the others request Chateau d'Yquem?
No, they did not, and I'm really curious to hear why.
You don't have to hear it. Your palate will tell you.
He was feeling it.
Were there to be a nectar of the gods, it would be this. Yeah, baby.
God damn, that is wonderful though.
Yeah.
Tell me about the blueberry pie.
I like a really good apple pie, but there's some apple pies that just don't make it for me, whereas I rarely have a bad blueberry pie. So I want to just beat the odds here and order a blueberry pie. And I like blueberries. My wife picked she's raised in Alaska, and they have wild blueberry plants. And so I have a long-standing relationship with blueberries. I think they're so, you know my favorite part of blueberries? You ever peeled a blueberry?
No, who has that time? Who has that time in the world?
Apparently I do, and you never get out. So now I have to explain. So it is completely colorless on the inside.
Oh, interesting. Like actually? I mean, like
I said completely colorless, and you're saying actually?
I mean,
okay.
Let me narrow my question here. Is it's more
very,
translucent than the skin would belie?
It is very pale green, on a level where you wouldn't even say it had color.
Gotcha. Cool. So like scientifically not colorless.
So all the color is in the skin. And if you had blueberry pancakes and you see where the blueberries were, and you say, oh, wait a minute, the blueberry broke open and it's blue on the inside, before you cooked it, the blue that was in the skin and the inside was just the fruit. So blueberries are kind of interesting that way for me.
I think the most interesting part is that they're not blue at all. There's almost no naturally occurring blue foods out there. We have some species of algae, of course.
We have blue corn.
We have blue corn is purple, actually. If you actually soak it in water.
Oh, soak it in water? Who soaks their blue tortillas in water?
Actually, if corn was not initially soaked in lime water, Neil, do you know that all of the Mesoamerican civilizations couldn't have existed?
I was going to comment on the corn at the beginning, but you didn't ask me. We just went through it.
Damn it.
Okay?
Neil, why do you love corn?
Okay, thank you.
I thought I asked.
Because these ears of corn are, oh my gosh, not found anywhere in nature. They are products of science, and they've basically been genetically modified from their original stock. You see cobs in caves where our cave ancestors lived, and they're this big.
Yeah.
And we said, that's too small. So we said, let us crossbreed In the old days, that's what they did. Now we just do it in a lab. But let's crossbreed, and they kept doing it. The corn got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not sweet enough. Crossbreed it with a sweet one. Now it's sweet and big. And everyone said, I love my natural corn. There's nothing natural about it. In fact, in a grocery store, hardly anything exists that existed that way in the wild. And so people just don't understand that. The anti-GMO people, do you have any idea what you're eating in this world? It's all been modified. Heirloom tomatoes. Yeah, go find the wild heirloom tomato plant growing in, go find the herd of wild milk cows. So for me, the corn was a testament to the role of outsmarting nature to serve our palate. And that's why I wanted to begin it with corn. It was, I'm a scientist. How am I going to get my bit of science in the food? Let's throw down with big old corn on the cob.
But it is kind of funny because they just want to drink the milkshake. Drink the milkshake. It's getting warm. Cilantro.
So, I think about this often. If I'm going to go 9 months to Mars, that's about how long it takes, and I can only bring 2 foods, what would I bring? It would be New York pepperoni pizza and strawberry malted milkshake. I didn't choose the pizza tonight because it has pepperoni in it, and you have to kill animals for that. And this is a no kill animal zone.
You would rather have no pizza at all than a pepperoni-less pizza.
Yes.
You could have gotten cheese, a plain, as you call it.
No, I'm talking about going to Mars. I want the pepperoni on it.
Gotcha.
And if you add up the calories and the fat, carbohydrates, proteins, it's a full meal. I might have to supplement with a vitamin every now and then.
That's what the malt powder's for. That's actually how I knew that you knew ball when it comes to food, was the malt in the milkshake.
Listen, I don't do drugs or anything. I'm like the cleanest person you've ever met.
Not even on your last meal? We spiked everything with LSD, Neil. We're going to the moon.
No, because our brain barely works. Just think about it. How wrong we often are about some life experience that's just not how it happened. Now you want to stir chemicals into it so that what? It works even less? So, no, I want to be fully aware when I die. What started this was drugs. When I consume malt, I have to just pause. And I'm wondering, is that what people feel when they take drugs? 'Cause I don't know. I honestly have never done drugs my entire life. I've been...
Yo, you want me to answer?
Well, I'm just wondering, because the malt just moves into my bloodstream. And I just want to pause and say nothing and hear nothing for at least a minute. So I can...
Then you hear the doors start playing, break on through to the end.
It's almost like a drug for me, is what I'm saying.
I drank the whole milkshake.
Whoa!
It was like a drug to me.
Whoa!
That's the best thing I've ever tasted in my life.
This is why I would take it to Mars.
As you should. Do you think you'll get to Mars? Do you think you can do it?
Nobody's going to Mars unless there's a geopolitical reason to do so. I can think of several.
Yeah.
Elon wants to go to Mars. We're not going to Mars. Let's go to Mars. There'll be 2 planets. That's not happening. Unless it's a vanity project. He's got enough money. He's got $500 billion.
Yeah.
He plus some combination of Bezos can get to Mars as a vanity project. But I'd be pissed off if I were an investor in SpaceX and he's using his resources that way, because there's no return on that investment.
Yeah.
So it's a vanity project. How are we going to get to Mars? China says, we want to put military bases on Mars. We're in Mars in 9 months. But NASA doesn't have a vessel that'll do it.
Yeah.
Guess what? Elon has a vessel that'll do it. So if we ride Elon's rockets to Mars, it's because tax money paid for it.
And even like the commercial application of going to the moon in '69 was to beat global communism, so then we can move Pizza Hut into East Berlin in 1995.
Well, no.
I mean,
McDonald's.
But actually, if you
McDonald's.
track it, right? I mean, that's kind of why we did it.
No, we did it because we wanted to show the world the path of freedom over the path of tyranny. And that's a direct quote from a Kennedy speech.
Yeah.
And we can tell ourselves, oh, we're Americans, it's in our DNA, it's a beautiful thing. Let's go to, we can say that and remember it that way, but that's not what caused it. And so that's why in 1972, we looked over our shoulder, no Russians, we're done. We're done here. We're going back now with Project Artemis. Why are we going back now? We didn't stay there in 72.
Yeah.
We didn't go back in 80, 1990, 2000, 2010. Why not? China says they want to go back to the moon. So now we're going back to the moon. We're being reactive, not proactive. Anyhow, so there you have it. Oh, and let me serve you.
Thank you so much.
You know the German word for whipped cream?
Schlag?
The best word ever.
The best word
You
ever.
want some schlag?
I like crème chantilly, the French word.
No, that's too.
Crème chantilly.
What's it?
Ouais, non, c'est vrai,
That's
monsieur nul.
No, I need more schlag. That was a schlag.
That was a
I just slogged your.
Oh, we're slogging over. We're thwapping on the schlag.
There you go.
This is.
Okay.
All of this space travel, all of this food, this is all framed by the fact that we are born and then one day we die. And we have a lot of people, oh, thank you so much. A lot of people with means, billionaires, ultra high net worth individuals who are trying to prolong life indefinitely. Mm-hmm. And I think they're making at least a little bit of progress in prolonging life. Mm-hmm. I know there's something called like escape velocity in terms of longevity, where if you can just keep prolonging your life 1 year by 1 year, eventually you will get to a point where science will have progressed so much that in theory, everlasting life.
No, 1 year per year is escape velocity.
Correct, yeah.
So if you prolong it 1 year every 2 years, and then as time moves on, it's 1 year every year and a half. The moment it hits 1 year every year, that's escape velocity. Yes.
If given the choice between everlasting life and dying, purely as a hypothetical exercise, what would you choose?
Death.
Why?
Now maybe on my deathbed I give you a different answer.
Sure.
I've come to recognize in myself, especially given my advanced years, that knowledge I'm going to die gives meaning to every day that I'm alive. It gives purpose. It gives focus. If you live forever, why finish anything today when you can finish it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Also, if you're going to live forever, you would never cross the street. If you live forever, you're going to die of some accident.
Yeah.
Think about that. You will die of an accident, not of natural causes, if you live forever.
When that bus just sneaks up from behind you, it takes you out.
The 80-mile-an-hour bus, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a movie that kept going fast? The bus went fast?
Speed.
Keanu
Reeves, Sandra Bullock. When your mother passed away, I believe she was 92 years old?
No, 2 days before her 95th birthday.
Before her
I
95th
count her as
birthday.
95 in my actuarial tables.
But she was a practicing gerontologist.
Yeah, she was a housewife with a high school degree by prior arrangement with my father through empty nest, mostly empty nest. And then she went back to school, studied gerontology, got a master's, and then worked for the feds and administered money to nursing homes and programs. So yeah, and my father was active in the civil rights movement, and I'm their son, the astrophysicist. I mean, that was just a little, but they kept me anchored in fundamental and important ways.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons your work means so much to me, and I think to so many other people, is that you do take all this from the heavens and you do distill it down into people very, very well. There was a moment when we're talking about the overview effect and these borders don't exist in the world, but you had an anecdote about flying an airplane in South Africa and looking down and seeing what you thought was a lake.
But it wasn't. It was Soweto.
Yeah, the Southwest Township.
Yes.
Yeah.
The townships had no electricity. So at night, there are no lights. And it was like, whoa, I'm in a different part of the world here. Not all of the inequities of civilization are invisible from space.
Yeah.
There are a few exceptions. Another one is the Korean Peninsula. You look at that at night, oh my gosh, South Korea is ablaze with light. North Korea is dark, and there's an exact line between the two. So you get those kind of signatures when there's a highly disparate GDP per capita across a border.
You said flying over Soweto in South Africa was the first time that you felt that maybe mankind doesn't have the maturity to keep civilization going. Do you still feel that? Or was that kind of just younger, less wise Neil being a little bit dramatic?
I'm a hopeful realist. So I have strong skepticisms about our wisdom. But I have strong confidence in our ability to realize it, even if it's a little bit too late. Too late to have prevented harm or death or bloodshed or starvation, but not too late to end civilization. So that's how I feel.
That was cautiously optimistic. I'll settle for that.
I didn't say I was cautious. Did I say cautious? And I just said
No. You said hopeful realist.
hopefully a hopeful realist, not cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. Very different. Mm-hmm. I know there's a Horace Mann quote that you're quite fond of.
Yes, I am.
Be ashamed to die.
Oh, wait, you got to. There's a sentence before that, which is very 19th century, and you got to add that in.
I think that he uses the term heed, right?
It elevates. It's like, damn, they had some extra words back then that some didn't make it into the century.
It's all like, come forth and heed ye all. It's
no, that's
a
that's a little too early. Here it is, right? I beseech you.
There it is.
Beseech. We need that word.
They loved beseeching back then.
Be dead. A lot of beseeching.
Beseeching all the time.
A lot of beseeching back then. I beseech you to treasure up in your hearts these my parting words. Be ashamed to die until you have won some victory for humanity.
He was feeling it.
Now, here's an interesting fact. Had there been podcasts 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and had you invited me on the podcast, which you wouldn't have, I would not have been ready for a last meal because I would not have fulfilled that edict of Horace Mann. I feel that while I have much more to contribute to this world, that I have already, in fact, satisfied that criterion.
Killing Pluto was that big for you, huh?
Yeah.
What was your greatest victory for humanity?
I don't rank it that way. I just think there are people who care about learning, care about science, care about the universe, care about how all that matters to us all as a species, as a civilization, as a nation. There are people who care and feel that way because of things I've said and written.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know that because they come up to me and told me so. I'm not just imagining this. And what it means two things. It means somebody's paying attention to what I put out there. So that's fulfilling. And it means I can have a last meal and not feel like I didn't succeed at that. That's a double negative. So let me just say, I think at this point in my life, I have succeeded so I can die.
Yeah.
But I don't want to die.
I hope you have a lot of years left.
Well, I know.
You need to wait for the movie for Seveneves to come out.
Give me at least that. And give me another 30 years. How old are you now?
33.
Okay. So a few years ago, you lived your billionth second.
Damn.
It happens between your 31st and 32nd birthday.
I didn't even celebrate.
I did on mine.
You celebrated your billionth second?
Tiny little glass of champagne because it's just 1 second. It's very quick. I can expect to live 3 billion seconds if I die a natural life. That takes me to 94, the age of my mother. Okay? 95. And so that's when I'm sort of budgeting for my life. And when I'm going to take Social Security and when I'm going to retire and when I'm going to do that. So that's the plan. But I could get hit by a silent bus.
You're all electric.
A silent, invisible bus. Okay?
Science does it. It's not linear. There might be silent, invisible buses. We don't know. What do you think happens when you die, both from a physical perspective and I suppose the philosophical perspective?
For me, it's easy. We know from stroke victims, people who've had mini strokes, you slowly disappear. You don't recognize people. You lose your language. You don't remember how to do anything. So everything that we knew you to be is just being hacked at by the loss of brain function. So it's not unrealistic to think that everything about you that matters to anybody is neurosynaptic in your brain.
Yeah.
And so when you die, all metabolism stops, including your brain. I'm not given any reason to think from human physiology and the physics of energy that anything happens to you in death other than a state of non-existence. Is that so bad?
I've never done it.
No, you never done it? Okay, so here it is.
I haven't even tried. Really.
Is your state of non-existence before you were born any different from your state of non-existence when you die?
So different.
Before you were born, you weren't a year before you were born. Where am I? I got to be somewhere. Well, how come I?
Yeah.
It was a state of non-existence.
But it wasn't my state of non-existence. It was merely a state. I think once the my is established is the problem. We fear death because we know only life.
That is a quote from Enter the Dragon.
Is that Bruce Lee?
No, it was Han.
Oh.
Said it. Get out more.
I know the quotes, I don't know the movies.
If you recognize that if you're born knowing only life, then in death, you die knowing only death.
Yeah.
I'm prepared to have no awareness of anything. And I'm not afraid of that. So malt, do people know it's one of the many sugars, maltose.
I didn't even realize that.
You're a foodie.
Yeah, but maltose, well, hold on. But
No, don't have to hold on.
Maltose
No.
isn't referring to maltose.
Of course it does.
But it's the maltose that has been created from fermenting grain.
Whatever it comes from, I don't care. It comes
I
from.
guess so.
So you
I
have
guess so.
sucrose, dextrose, maltose. It's one of the sugars. Fructose is from the fruit, and so of those sugars, the maltose affects me like chemically.
Someone Google that. I'm invoking the Joe Rogan closet. Jamie, can you look up?
Okay, you have to watch out
Can you
because
look up ancient mummy alien statues?
because now when people Google things, it goes to AI, and 85% of the time I do that, it's correct, and about 15% of the time, it's got its head up its ass. And I only know that because I know what it is I'm looking up.
Yeah.
Okay? If you don't know the answer to what you're looking up, it's just the answer.
Yeah.
But try it for answers you already know.
And so do you think people's fear in AI or their hope in it being the savior of humanity, do you think either of those are going too far and AI is merely
Yes.
just a helpful tool?
Yes.
Probably.
It's a very helpful tool to everyone. And there'll be some nefarious ne'er-do-gooders. What's the
I
word?
think ne'er-do-wellers.
Ne'er-do-wellers, thank you. We need some guardrails, likely, in those domains. But we couldn't do modern astrophysics without AI fundamentally participating in the acquisition, data reduction, and selection of targets.
Neil, you ready to get to the lightning round?
Oh, sure.
Neil was right about maltose.
Of course Neil was right about maltose.
It's been a while since someone says, I don't trust what you said. Let me look it up. This is, no, I'm not saying I'm never wrong. I'm just saying I'm charmed that things I might tell you are so extraordinary that you need backup to verify it.
What's the most mind-blowing thing? Right now, cards on the table. What's the most mind-blowing thing you can tell me that's true?
In 1 centimeter slice of your lower colon lives and works more microbes than the total number of humans who have ever been born, which means to them, all you are is a darkened vessel of anaerobic fecal matter. Yet we tell ourselves that we're in charge. If you upset those microbes, they're in charge. Because you know your distance to the nearest toilet when that happens.
I've eaten a lot of airport Cobb salads.
So this is a cosmic perspective of a biological sense, where you want to think you're important and you're not as important as you want to believe you are. However, the ingredients of life itself, the hydrogen, the oxygen, the carbon, the nitrogen, they're forged in the Big Bang and in stars themselves. The fact that we are carrying the elements, we are not just figuratively, but literally stardust. And it's not simply that we are alive in this universe. The universe is alive within us. That's the most mind-blowing fact I know.
I thought you were going to talk about corn again. Neil, who's the one person, dead or alive, you'd want to share your actual last meal with?
I've recreated in my head what a conversation with Isaac Newton would be like. After a minute of it, I'm so frustrated, I just want to send him back to where he came from. I said, hi, Newton, welcome. He says, oh, what are those things outside? I said, oh, those are horse-drawn carriages, but without the horses. Well, how do they move? Oh, well, we use gasoline. What's gasoline? This is stuff nobody knew about in 1686, okay? And then, who knows? At the end of it, he might say, oh, who owns you? At which point, he said, get the f*** out of here, Isaac.
Yeah, most people just choose their spouse. Yeah, that's a safe choice, you know.
did a curse word there.
What song do you want to be played at your funeral?
Come Sail Away by Styx. That song is about an alien abduction.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, sick. You were born on October 5th.
Yes.
What's the most Libra thing about you?
Wow. The most Libra thing? I have to know what Libras are like. I don't know.
Well, it's whatever you are.
I don't, it has scales. The most Libra thing about me, here it is. The two brightest stars in the constellation Libra have the longest names of any named star in the sky. That's the most Libra thing about me.
That's very Libra.
Don't you want to know what those names are?
What are they?
Zubin El Janubi and Zubin Esh Shamali.
Sounds sexy, like a slog.
And I'm betting most Libras don't know that.
What's your biggest fear?
I fear that the human intellect is insufficient to completely comprehend the universe. And we're just sort of clawing at the side of an elephant, not realizing that it's an elephant. And I will quote Isaac Newton. I'm going to mangle this quote, but you'll get the sense of it. It's, sometimes I imagine I'm just a little child, a little boy on a seashore, picking up one shell and one rock because it's shinier than the next, while the great ocean of undiscovered truths lay before me. As brilliant as he was, he's wondering whether it's just a drop in the bucket.
Finally, Neil, are you happy?
Based on conversations I've had with many people, I'm one of the happiest people I've met.
It's all relative.
There's some unhappy people out there.
Neil, this is the pleasure of a
Yeah.
lifetime, dude. Truly, if you want to deliver your last words to that camera right there.
I remain insatiably curious in life and in death.
Cheers. Everyone, check out Just Visiting This Planet. You got anything else to plug?
Where's the book? But
Oh, I have the book!
He's sitting
Holy
on the
shit!
book.
I was using the book as
Everything
a
else
poster
is
the
on
entire time.
Everything else is, I got the strawberry, the malt.
Hey, do you know it's maltose is actually the sugar that makes malt taste like that?
Wow, thank you for that.
Join the Mythical Society 3rd Degree Quarterly or Annual now to get the Mythical Clue Game.